Good evening. The meeting is about to begin and staff will now start the recording. Good evening, members of the committee, applicants, agents, staff, and members of the public. I now call the meeting for the Committee of Adjustment for March 20th, 2025 to order. As this meeting is being held virtually, I will remind you that the meeting is being recorded and streamed live via the County of Brant YouTube account. And tonight we have no members of the committee online. This meeting is held in accordance with the provision of the Planning Act, which requires notice of the public information meeting and the public notice sign to be posted. The purpose of this meeting is to discuss minor variance and consent applications and provide those in attendance the opportunity to provide feedback. A copy of the meeting agenda with all related materials is available on the County of Brant website. Once the presentations, public hearing, and question period are complete for each item, if the committee deems it appropriate, they will make a decision which is final following the 20-day appeal period. The order of delegations are as follows: planning staff report and recommendation, the applicant agent presentation, questions and discussion, public comments, further questions of clarification, and the decision. I will now take attendance. Please indicate by stating present if you are in attendance. Mary Jane Brown, present. Harry Emmett is not present. Bob Hamilton?
Present.
Jane Peneg?
Present.
Rebecca Smith?
Present.
Steve Schmidt?
Present.
John Vamus?
Present.
We'll now move to item 2, approval of the agenda. Do any members have items to be added to the agenda? None. May I request a mover and a seconder? Member Schmidt, is there a seconder for this one? Member Vamus, could I have your motion, please?
It's moved by myself and seconded by Member Vamus that the agenda for the County of Brant Committee of Adjustment meeting of March 20th, 2025 be approved.
Members, please indicate if you are in favor of the motion, starting with Member Schmidt.
Yes.
Member Vamus?
Yes.
Member Hamilton?
Yes.
Member Peneg?
Yes.
Member Smith?
Yes.
And Brown, yes. The motion has carried. The agenda has now been approved. Item 3, are any members of the committee who would like to declare a conflict of interest for any items on the agenda this evening? It appears there are none. So we will move to item 4, the adoption of minutes from the previous meetings, February 20th, 25. Do committee members have any errors or omissions to note? Since there are none, could I have a mover and a seconder for approving the minutes? Member Peneg and Member Hamilton will second. Can I please have your motion?
Moved by myself and seconded by Member Hamilton that the minutes of the February 20th, 2025 meeting of the Committee of Adjustment be approved as printed.
Members, please indicate if you are in favor of this motion, starting with Member Schmidt.
Yes.
Member Vamus?
Yes.
Member Hamilton?
Yes.
Member Peneg?
Yes.
Member Smith?
Yes.
And Brown, yes. The motion to adopt minutes from the meeting of February 20th has carried. I'll now introduce item 5.1 for application A225LG and turn it over to staff for the presentation of the report and the recommendation.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Afsun Veshkini, and I'm a junior planner with the County of Brant. I'm here to present application A2-25-LG on behalf of the planner Lauren Grom. This is a minor variance application for lands located at 539 Paris Road within the former township of Brantford. Approval of minor variance application A2-25-LG is recommended. The subject lands are located south of Paris Road and west of Oak Park Road. The subject lands have an irregular shape with a frontage of 102.4 meters, a depth of 183.4 meters, and a total area of 16,996.8 square meters. The subject lands currently contain a residential dwelling, a barn, and an accessory structure, all of which are proposed for demolition to facilitate future development. In terms of surrounding land uses, residential properties are located to the north, commercial uses to the east, and industrial uses to the southwest. The subject lands are designated as general employment under the County of Brant Official Plan 2023 and are located within the urban settlement area of Paris. The lands are zoned heavy industrial with a site-specific provision M3-28 under the County of Brant zoning bylaw 6116. Minor variance application A2-25-LG is requesting a reduction in the required street setback from 50 meters, which is the minimum required distance from any property line abutting an arterial road, to 33 meters under zoning bylaw 6116 section 11 table 11.2.1 to allow for future industrial development. The purpose of this request is to facilitate future industrial development on the subject property. The applicant has provided a concept plan demonstrating how the site can accommodate this development. Any future development on the property will be subject to a detailed technical review as part of a site plan control application. Regarding the public comments, someone inquired about the setbacks and requested more details. As a result of the minor variance review, staff is of the opinion that the request aligns with the general intent of the County of Brant Official Plan and zoning bylaw. The proposal is appropriate and meets the 4 tests outlined in the Planning Act. The requested setback reduction will facilitate future industrial development while maintaining compatibility with surrounding land uses. The subject lands are designated for employment uses, and the proposed variance will enable efficient site design and economic growth. No public concerns have been raised, and the proposal will undergo further technical review through the site plan control process. For these reasons, approval of minor variance application A2-25-LG is recommended. Thank you, and I'm happy to answer any questions.
Thank you for the presentation. Do any committee members have any questions to staff on this application? Member Hamilton, please go ahead.
Through the chair to staff, I'm just looking for clarity here. The 33 feet from the road edge is to the building, not the parking lot?
Through the chair to committee member, yes, it is 33 meters from the property line to the building.
Thank you.
Thank you. Any further questions? Member Panay, please go ahead.
To the chair, to the staff, is there enough space allowance for road widening in the future?
I think through the chair to the committee member, I believe any future development will go under technical review under site plan control.
Through you, Madam Chair, I can also add, just by looking at the images on the screen, you can see that it appears that road widening across the frontage has already been taken in the past, and the indication for me is that the parcel in orange has a piece sticking out, which means we haven't taken it from that parcel. But as I've soon mentioned, further widening would be requested at site plan control if required.
Thank you.
Any further comments or questions from committee to staff? Is the applicant or agent present? Online? Yes. would you like to come forward to the podium? And can you please give your name?
Good evening. My name is Peter Graham, representing as the agent.
Oh, it doesn't.
Good evening. Is that better? So my name is Peter Graham, listed as the agent. I'm with my business partners, Alex Shalamov and Kyle Jimmink. So we are the proposed purchasers of this property. And if this is approved, it helps us move forward with the next step of final closure on the purchase of this property, which then allows us to start the planning phase for construction and getting general contractors involved and working on the final site plan approvals. If there's any questions, please let me know.
Do any committee members have questions to the agent? Member Hamilton?
Through the chair to the applicant, looking at your diagram there, that may be a layout. It appears the front area is going to be office, and it appears you're going to have 3 separate units. So will they be different businesses throughout, or could there be one business that takes the whole thing? I'm just going by the diagram.
Great question. Great question. So what we're doing here is the front office would be occupied by our operating business called ProVantage Automation.
Okay.
And behind that to the south would be our warehouse and assembly area for testing and building machinery. Then the 2 spaces that are to the south of that, initially the plan is for those to be leased spaces for us. And as our business continues to grow, we will then take over those leased spaces.
Okay, thank you for the explanation.
Any other questions from committee members? Member Vamus?
Yes, through the chair to the applicant. So from Paris Road in the parking lot, then when your building starts, it looks like you still were 40 meters and then it's tapered to 33. So you're deficient all the way across, right, for your 50 meters? It shows 40.47 and then 33.2.
It should be
So is
parallel.
it tapered then?
No, it should be the 33 meters is parallel to Paris Road. And it's actually the 33 meters from the road widening already. But the office, at least at this stage, is planned to be parallel. That angled section of the front office would be parallel to Paris Road. Not sure if that answers your question.
Okay, thank you.
Any further questions, comments to the agent? I just have a question, it's probably not too important. Is the plan for the existing building to stay, or will that be eventually demolished?
So in order for us to get proper coverage, all buildings on that property will be demolished.
Okay, thank you.
Are you talking about this?
The house that's there, it will be demolished.
That's correct, yeah. The house, the barn, and the storage shop will all be demolished.
Thank you. Then, any further comments, questions to the applicant? Are there any members? Yes, Member Vamus?
Through the chair to the applicant. So is there any reason why you couldn't have been 17 meters south? Then you're in compliance with the 50 meter setback? Your building would be a little bit smaller, but then you'd be in compliance.
It probably wouldn't warrant us buying the property at that stage, just in terms of the lot coverage. You know what, we'd rather plan for the 33. We may not need the 33. But once we get into, more designs with general contractors and civil engineers, we'd like to have that 33 available to us. Doesn't mean we're actually going to use it.
Thank you.
Okay.
And since there's no further questions from the committee, I'll open to the public portion of the meeting. Any members of the public wish to speak? And there's no public delegations online. Okay. Then since I'll close the public portion of the meeting, and I'll ask the committee, are there any final questions to staff or the agent? And since there are none, I'll request a mover first. Member Smith, please give your motion.
I'll make a motion to approve application A225-LG as the application meets the 4 tests of the Planning Act.
Thank you. Is there a seconder? Member Hamilton? I'll now call the vote, starting with Member Schmidt.
Yes.
Member Vamus?
Yes.
Member Hamilton?
Yes.
Member Peneg?
Yes.
Member Smith?
Yes.
And Brown, yes. The motion to approve application A225LG has carried, so the application has been approved. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you. I will now introduce item 5.2 for application FV524LK and turn it over to staff for the presentation of the report.
Good evening, committee. This is a request for a decision on a fence variance application pursuant of the County of Brant Fence Bylaw 135-23. The applicant is seeking relief for maximum fence height as per section 5, table 5.5.1. Property is located at 180 Grand River Street, and the subject lands are located east of Broadway Street East and west of Grand River Street North. The land is designated as a community corridor within the County of Brant official plan, and the property is zoned Heritage Area Residential Multiple Low Density HA-RM1. Due to the nature of the lot configuration, the yard in question is considered the front yard, as you'll see here in blue. This restricts the allowable height for the fence to be 3 feet. The applicant is seeking a fence variance for an 8.5-foot portion of the fence along the western property line, as outlined in blue here, and a 7.5-foot fence along the portion of the western property line and south property line, as outlined in red, to be permitted, whereas a max fence height allowed is 3 feet. Reasons for this application include family safety and security and privacy reasons. A notice of objection was obtained from property owners at 174 Grand River Street North that abuts to the south. The applicant objects to the proposed fence variance for the following reasons. Height is unnecessary and imposing. It interferes with light and airflow and is aesthetically unappealing. It has been noted that sightlines for this proposal are not a concern of county staff. Should the application be approved, it is recommended to be built slightly off the property line onto the applicant's land. In summary, staff are generally supportive of this proposal due to the nature of the request and the interpretation of the fence bylaw with regards to lot configuration. Thank you.
Thank you for the presentation. Do committee members have any questions or comments to staff on this application? It appears there are none. So is the applicant or their agent present? Yes? Could you please come to the podium?
Hi, my name is Monique Price.
Thank you. And do you wish to add to the staff report?
I just wanted to address some of the concerns about airflow. Airflow shouldn't be an issue. I plan on installing a black chain link fence into the ditch and then behind the sheds. The existing iron gate is also open, so that allows airflow. And the addition of a screening using tension wire and growing ivy on it also would not prevent airflow. It would be something like this. It's just
wanted to pass it
Yep.
to the committee
Sure.
members.
And I'll show, I've got the chain, the iron gate as well, so it kind of shows. That would be here. And here's another picture too of the gate, and I'll pass those along as well. It just shows the gate.
This is the proposed gate. Thank you.
That's the type of fence that she's proposing.
So it gives you
That's the one, the 8.5 foot one.
the second issue that they addressed was the aesthetics. I feel that the pillars and the iron gate are in keeping with the age of the century home. I believe that they would be deemed aesthetically appealing. The privacy screen will also create a privacy screen with just ivy. It's simple, it has clean lines, and the black chain link fence into the ditch and around the back will be a much better replacement to the current green chain link fence, which is in complete disrepair. And I'll show you the existing fence that's there. That's kind of what's there right now. Gives you an idea. It's kind of like a broken chain link.
That's there now, and then they'll have this behind.
Just for clarification, you refer to in the ditch, so where on the diagram are you referring to?
Here, this kind of shows, this is the property at 174. So right at the bottom here, this ditch continues all along the whole length of the driveway.
Okay.
So basically I need a chain link fence to kind of come down the hill into the ditch and then just behind here. So it kind of gives a general sense.
That's the fence. That's the gate.
That's the area that they're complaining about for the fence.
And this is the fence that's
Back here.
already
And then
there
kind of down
behind.
this
On top of the
slope
place,
here.
pretty.
And then that's the long driveway that goes this way.
I'll give the committee a minute to look over the photos you provided them. Sure, I'll take them if you can.
And then just the third concern was the height. On those forms also, it shows that the iron gate is only 5 feet, 3 inches. The post or pillar is only 5 feet, 11 inches. The chain link fence will likely only be 5 or 6 feet, but because of the grade, I'm not sure. I wanted to make sure to give myself enough height. And because the ditch itself goes down about 7 feet, if you've got a fence at the bottom of the ditch and you're at the top of the ditch, I'm just worried my dogs are gonna jump over it if it's not high enough. And it shows that basically along the back of their property, they already have a 7.5 foot fence that runs the whole back of their property, and that's in there. And also adjoining in the ditch is like a 9 foot fence that runs the whole length. So this would be 174's back fence, which is 7 feet here, but then it goes 7.5 feet further through the parking line. And then this is perpendicular, so their fence is there. This would be on the straight line with the chain link fence, and this fence that's already existing in the bottom of the ditch, along my driveway side is 9 feet. Thanks. So basically, currently, the fence that runs through the property at 174 Grand River Street North is already 7 feet high and 7.5 feet in sections. There's also an adjoining fence that runs along the ditch, which is 107 inches or almost 9 feet. Last September, my neighbor at 45 Broadway Street East on the other side of my driveway was approved for a 7.5 foot fence, which would be the perimeter of her property that runs the whole length of my driveway and around the back of where my screening fence would be, or perpendicular to my proposed fence. And then basically my reasons for wanting to have the fence variance is that I'd like to keep my 3 dogs in safely in the yard because of the ditch being 7 feet deep. And along my driveway, I need a fairly high fence so that they can't get over it. I require the privacy screen to hide an unsightly fence that runs beside my garage to the pillar. This neighbor is also planning to build a 7.5-foot fence, but it's on top of a 3-foot to 6-foot mound that they're creating, so it'll probably end up being 10 or 12 feet high. I'm basically hoping that my privacy screen will block that fence. And the iron gate, I'm hoping to keep it. It doesn't disturb sight lines, as Logan mentioned, and it's 140 feet basically back off the road, and it doesn't really present any issues to anyone. And I just want to point out that although I've asked for a 7.5-foot variance, aside from the privacy screen, the other fences are likely to be less than 7.5 feet. I'm just hoping, because the expense of the variance is $1,200, I don't want to worry about someone measuring and seeing that it's an inch over 6 feet or something, and I have to apply for a variance again. I hope that this will be satisfactory for my neighbor at 174 at Grand River Street North, and I think that the overall look will be much better than the existing fence that's in quite a state of disrepair. Thank you.
Thank you for your presentation. Do committee members have any questions to the applicant? Member Panay, please go ahead.
Through the chair to the applicant, would the chain link be removed once the new fence goes on?
The damaged chain link?
Yes.
Yes. I plan on cleaning up the area at the bottom and
Member Hamilton?
From the pictures that you've shown us there, there's those railway ties at the bottom of 174. Do they belong to you, or do they belong to 174?
I think they belong to 174.
So you would then be building, if I'm assuming that right, your posts would be behind that?
Yes.
And in the ground?
Yeah.
To be, for the fence to be built upon?
That's correct.
Any other questions to the applicant? Member Hamilton?
Looking at the type of fence you're going to have along 174, it seemed to be more of a cable fence than a chain link, or is it going to be definitely chain link of 2 inches by 2 inches or whatever?
Yeah, it'll be chain link along the back of 174. The cable fence is the privacy screen that will be on the other side of the driveway.
Okay, thank you.
Any comments? Member Vamus?
Through the chair to the applicant, so on the diagram here, it was just the red areas that'll be 7.5 or 8.5.
Yes.
Then the existing fence on the east, bordering Grand River Street North, what's the height of that one?
That one I think is about 6.5 feet. The current fence, that wooden fence that kind of is in front of the posts.
Because that looks pretty high too.
Yeah.
And then the laneway would just be over 3 feet?
The laneway, the neighbor has already applied for a variance along the whole driveway side. I guess it would be on the north side of my driveway, and that's already been approved for 7.5 feet in September. And as well as along basically where the garage is to the driveway, that is also been approved for a 7.5-foot fence where the screening would be.
And then one final question. So you want the fence, instead of trees, you want the fence because of the dogs, right?
Yes, so down into the ditch.
Instead of planting trees
Yeah.
for privacy, you want a fence for privacy?
Yeah.
Because of the dogs, okay.
Because if I don't have a fence down into the ditch and behind that shed, my dogs can kind of jump off the top of the mound kind of thing at the driveway side and get over into the neighbor's backyard.
No further questions to the applicant? Then I will open the public portion of the meeting. I believe there was someone who objected to this fence variance application. Are they present in chambers or online? Anyone else in public wishes to speak to it then? It appears there are none. Then I'll ask committee members, do you have any final questions to staff or the applicant? Since there are none, I will now ask for a motion. Member Panay, please go ahead.
I'd like to make a motion that application number FV5-24-LK to be approved.
Thank you. Is there a second? Member Schmidt. I'll now call the vote, starting with Member Schmidt.
Yes.
Member Vamus.
No.
Member Hamilton.
Yes.
Member Panay.
Yes.
Member Smith. Yes. Member Brown. Yes. The motion to approve application FV5-24-LK has carried, so the application has been approved. Thank you. We'll now move to item 6 for the next meeting. The next meeting is scheduled to be April 17th, 2025, and again will be a hybrid meeting starting at 6 p.m. So we will now move to adjournment. May I please get a motion to adjourn the meeting? Member Hamilton, is there a seconder to adjourn? Member Panay. Can I please have your motion?
Moved by myself and seconded by Member Penang, that the Committee of Adjustment meeting for March 20th, 2025 be adjourned.
Thank you. All those in favor say yes. Thank you. I now declare the meeting adjourned.